When 26-year-old Anna Repkina connected with Will Hargrove on a Russian dating site, she believed she had found the love of her life. Recently emerging from a 7-year relationship, Anna was eager for a fresh start, longing for connection and happiness. Without a moment's hesitation, Anna left her life in Russia behind and moved to Oregon to be with Will, convinced they would build a future together. However, the reality awaiting her was far from the fairy tale she had envisioned. Instead, a tangled web of love and betrayal would lead to a tragic, unforeseen fate. On Monday, April 17, 2017, in the quiet town of Elsie, Oregon, a local caretaker and timber company groundskeeper was walking his dog along a remote dead-end logging road when he stumbled upon a scene that would haunt him forever: Anna's lifeless body lying on the ground. Initially, disbelief washed over him as he processed the chilling reality before his eyes. It felt surreal. Her feet faced the road, while her torso was angled toward the forest. Clad in blue jeans, black running shoes, a gray hoodie, and a black jacket, Anna's appearance was hauntingly ordinary, yet deeply unsettling in the context of her tragic end. Police arrived shortly after, launching an urgent investigation. The grim truth soon became evident: Anna had been killed by a single shotgun blast to the head. Scattered nearby lay remnants of a darker story: empty cans and papers, silent witnesses to the violence that had unfolded. One officer recalled the moment he reached down to touch Anna's hand, noting its coldness. It felt like flesh and bone, a stark reminder of the life that had been abruptly snuffed out. Questions flooded his mind. What had happened to Anna? How did she end up alone on this desolate road, far from the life she had yearned for? Anna Alexeyevna Repkina hailed from Moscow, born into a middle-class Russian family. Known for her sharp sense of humor, she worked an office job at IKEA. Passionate about rock music, traveling, and cats, Anna craved connection after a painful breakup, seeking solace in love. In 2016, after 7 years with her partner, Anna made the difficult decision to separate. Feeling an emptiness and eager for love, she joined a Russian online dating site, where she encountered Will Hargrove, a 26-year-old American mechanic from Oregon. Will presented himself as a former Marine who had been stationed in Russia, a detail that captivated Anna. Despite the distance, he appeared to be everything she longed for: caring, attentive, and affectionate. They bonded over their shared love of music, igniting a spark of hope in Anna's heart. To prove his devotion, Will sent Anna flowers while she remained in Russia. Their connection deepened through thousands of messages and video calls. Will's former roommate, Jamie Clark, described him as likable, a jokester with a natural charm that endeared him to all. By December 2016, Anna was ready to meet Will in person, hoping their bond would flourish in reality. However, upon her arrival in the United States, she discovered she had mistakenly booked flights to Portland, Maine, instead of Portland, Oregon. After some frantic adjustments, Anna successfully rerouted her flight and finally arrived in Portland, Oregon, where she met Will for the first time. Their time together felt like a fairy tale, a dream come true. Will introduced her to friends, making her feel cherished and valued. They stayed at Will's rented room in the home of the Chavez family, a married couple with 2 children. Not long after her arrival, during her 10-day trip, Will proposed. Convinced she had found the love she had been searching for, Anna joyfully accepted. 10 days later, Anna returned to Russia to pack her belongings. By March 1, 2017, she returned to America, filled with excitement and ready to start planning her wedding and building a new life with Will. They moved out of the Chavez family home and found a place together in Corvallis, Oregon. However, just a few months later, Anna Repkina's body was discovered on that desolate road, leaving behind a chilling mystery about her fate. Why had Anna's life ended so abruptly when she was supposed to be planning a wedding and building a future with Will Hargrove? The discovery of her body ignited an urgent investigation, as police sought to unravel the truth hidden within the shadows of her tragic story. Determined to unveil the truth, investigators meticulously examined the trash discovered near Anna Repkina's body. Each discarded item whispered the dark tale behind her tragic fate, revealing a web of deceit that would lead them down a harrowing path. Among the debris, investigators unearthed a vital piece of evidence: a KFC receipt pressed against a clear trash bag. Dated just days before April 14, 2017, the receipt bore a partial debit card number that would soon unravel the mystery surrounding Anna's demise. With this crucial lead, investigators contacted KFC. The restaurant confirmed that on that fateful day, a car had pulled up to the drive-thru, resulting in two purchases, one made with the debit card in question and the other paid in cash. The debit card was traced back to Kevin Thomas. This lead prompted the police to bring Kevin in for questioning, probing him for any connections to Anna's murder. However, Kevin firmly denied involvement, maintaining he had no knowledge of the crime. "We're trying to put some pieces together for our case," the detectives explained. He recounted his visit to KFC that day, dining with a friend. "Do you know about that?" The detectives inquired. Kevin confirmed, "Yeah, my brother and I go to KFC on Fridays." When asked for his brother's name, he hesitated before revealing Kevin. Will Hargrove. That friend was none other than Will Hargrove, Anna's fiancé. As the detectives pressed further, Kevin disclosed that Will had borrowed his shotgun weeks earlier, claiming he wanted to escape to the woods and blow off some steam. "Did he say why he wanted to borrow it?" the detectives asked. Kevin's response was alarming. He just said he was going to go up and go shooting in the woods, just kind of blow off some steam. Kevin added that Will had never returned the shotgun. With Kevin's revelations, the police raced to Will's home, determined to confront him about how his trash had ended up in Elsie. "We're here following up on a case we're working on," the detectives explained. "Your name came across, and I want to talk to you." Will admitted to stopping at a local market to buy cigarettes. "Did you dump some trash there?" The detectives pressed. "Yeah, I did," he confessed, referring to the side of the building near the general store. Sensing Will was withholding key information, they brought him into the station for further questioning about his relationship with Anna. At the sheriff's office, Will Hargrove insisted to investigators that he barely knew Anna. He claimed they had only gone on 2 dates. "What do you know about her?" Detectives pressed. "Almost nothing," he replied, as skeptical glances were exchanged among the detectives. "How did you meet?" They probed. Will recounted their chance encounter, saying, "We met downtown and Krakow's just walking around. We went on 2 dates, and then I told her it wasn't going to be anything more than that." He painted Anna as a psychotic stalker, insisting he had made it clear their relationship would be limited to casual dates and hangouts. "How long ago was that?" the detectives inquired. "Last time I saw her was, well, I had to cut it off because she posted on Facebook that we were engaged." As the detectives pressed Will Hargrove, their incredulity was palpable. He confirmed, with a voice tinged by frustration, that a post had indeed surfaced after 2 days. "It brought hell down upon me," he admitted. When asked from whom, he pointed to Michelle Chavez, a married woman who owned the house in Portland, where he rented a room. Despite her marriage and 2 children, Michelle had been entangled in a secret relationship with Will since 2015. "Michelle was my real girlfriend, not Anna," he insisted. However, as the detectives confronted him with the evidence of his trash found at the crime scene, Will's confidence began to crumble. Panicking, Will Hargrove immediately demanded a lawyer. The detectives pressed him, stating, "Will, your trash was found where somebody was killed." Taken aback, he replied, "I'm sorry, to what?" His disbelief was evident as he grappled with the implication. "Okay, that's what we're talking about here. You guys are looking at me for this?" "Your trash, as my partner said, was found at a scene where somebody died," the detectives reiterated. Will mumbled, "Yeah, okay, talking to you," his bravado fading as the weight of the evidence began to sink in. The detectives pointed out the numerous inconsistencies in his story, but it was too late. They had gathered enough evidence to firmly believe he was involved in Anna Repkina's murder, leading them to place him under arrest. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Will remarked, "No offense, guys. You've been really kind, and I like you, but the moment you say somebody was killed out there, no. No." A witness, overwhelmed with disbelief, echoed Will's discomfort. "No offense, guys," they began. "You've been really kind, and I like you. But the moment you say someone was killed out there, I just can't accept that." In a decisive moment, Will Hargrove was ordered to stand up and place his hands behind his back. He was under arrest for the murder of Anna Repkina. Following his arrest, police brought Michelle Chavez in for questioning at the station. During the interrogation, Michelle admitted to a covert affair with Will. She recounted their initial meeting, revealing the layers of their complicated relationship. After answering several questions, investigators delivered the shocking news: Will had been arrested for Anna's murder. Michelle's reaction caught the detectives off guard, hinting at deeper secrets. The detectives pressed her, questioning how she could remain so composed. "How are you not extremely upset right now?" they asked, incredulous that she seemed unfazed by the arrest of the man with whom she had been romantically involved. "I am very upset right now," she insisted, her voice trembling with emotion. "I don't understand how that could be." The detectives noted her distress, but they sensed there was more beneath the surface, urging them to unravel the complex dynamics between Anna, Will, and Michelle. In 2015, Michelle Chavez found herself trapped in what she described as a loveless marriage in Oregon, living with her husband and 2 children. She felt as if they were merely roommates, sharing a home devoid of intimacy. It was during this tumultuous period that she met Will Hargrove while working as a cab driver. After picking him up from a bar, an instant connection formed between them. Will made Michelle feel seen, loved, and wanted an intoxicating escape from her discontented life. Strangely, in 2016, she convinced her husband to rent a section of their home to Will, keeping her secret relationship hidden. As the affair between Will Hargrove and Michelle Chavez deepened, Will found himself yearning for more than just fleeting moments. He dreamed of a life where Michelle would leave her husband to be with him. However, Michelle maintained her ground, insisting that any decision would come on her own terms. This tension between them escalated. In a desperate attempt to reassure him of her commitment, Michelle handed Will her wedding ring, a promise of a future that felt increasingly out of reach. Yet, this gesture did little to quell Will's insecurities. Seeking attention elsewhere, he turned to a Russian dating site, initiating conversations with Anna Repkina. Perhaps he believed that finding someone new could either help him move on from Michelle or ignite a spark of jealousy in her heart. During Anna's 10-day visit to the United States, she stayed at Will's home, completely unaware of the affair that consumed his life. Will cleverly deceived Anna, portraying Michelle as merely his troubled ex-girlfriend. As Anna envisioned a future with him, she remained blissfully ignorant of the tangled web of lies that surrounded their connection. On March 1, 2017, Anna made the bold decision to permanently move to the U.S. This pivotal moment prompted Michelle to inform Will that their cohabitation was no longer feasible. Consequently, Will and Anna settled into an apartment in Corvallis, Oregon. Even as Anna excitedly planned their wedding, Will continued to juggle both relationships, often slipping away to spend nights with Michelle, living a double life fraught with deceit. Anna Repkina's suspicions began to mount as she frequently reached out to Will Hargrove's friends, desperately seeking information about his whereabouts. Despite the growing red flags, Anna remained hopelessly in love, blissfully ignorant of the web of deceit encircling her. Will had not only betrayed her trust, but had also spun elaborate lies about his past, including fictitious claims of military service. The engagement ring that Will presented to Anna, touted as a cherished family heirloom, was in fact the wedding ring that Michelle Chavez had given him, a symbol of their supposed future together. When Michelle stumbled upon the truth about her wedding ring through social media, her fury ignited. On March 22, end 2017, in a moment of confrontation, Michelle exposed the reality of Will's betrayal to Anna via Facebook. Still believing that Michelle was just a jealous ex, Anna dismissed her outright, telling her to cease being a nuisance and to leave their lives. This dismissal provoked a chilling response from Michelle. "I am happy to show you just how much of one I can be," Michelle warned ominously. Just 3 days later, on March 25, 2017, Will and Anna set out to marry. Clad in a wedding dress she had brought from Russia, Anna was filled with excitement, believing this day marked the beginning of their new life. Before heading to the ceremony, they made a stop at Walmart, where Will entered to purchase their wedding bands. Surveillance footage captured him inside, engaged in a phone conversation, a moment that would soon take on a far more sinister significance. Just 3 days after exchanging messages with Michelle, Will and Anna embarked on what was intended to be the start of their new life together. Anna looked radiant in the beautiful wedding dress she had chosen, her heart brimming with anticipation for the future. Before continuing to the ceremony, they stopped at Walmart. Inside, Will was captured on surveillance footage speaking on the phone as he selected their wedding bands, completely oblivious to the dark clouds gathering on the horizon. In a moment of confusion, Will Hargrove directed his inquiries not to Anna, but to Michelle. He questioned her about their relationship and asked whether he could visit her that night after leaving Walmart. With plans to meet the officiant looming, Will and Anna drove toward the beach, anticipation hanging in the air. However, when the officiant failed to arrive, Will quickly fabricated a story. He placed a phone call, feigning concern about their whereabouts. With a casual tone, he informed Anna that the officiant was sick and unable to attend. This was nothing but a deceitful fabrication. Will had never arranged for an officiant nor secured a marriage license. Oblivious to the deception, Anna believed they would simply need to postpone their wedding. With that, the couple headed home, stopping briefly at a McDonald's along the way. Surveillance footage captured the poignant scene of Anna, still adorned in her wedding dress, seated in the passenger seat. Meanwhile, Will Hargrove's attempts to provoke jealousy in Michelle Chavez were bearing fruit in the wake of their failed wedding. Michelle, feeling the pressure of uncertainty, issued Will an ultimatum. By April 19, 2017, he needed to choose between her and Anna. If he opted for Michelle, she vowed to leave her marriage, but it would mean eliminating Anna from the equation entirely. As tensions escalated, Will had been feeding Michelle a narrative that he had tried repeatedly to persuade Anna to leave, but she remained steadfast. Consequently, Michelle began to view Anna as the obstacle, unaware that Anna had no knowledge of the affair that was unfolding behind her back. Michelle's relentless texts bombarded Will, urging him to make a decision. On April 15, just 4 days prior to the ultimatum's deadline, she made it clear that it was time to fix it. Scheduled for dinner at Will's apartment, Michelle received an unexpected call. Will informed her that Anna had returned and she could no longer come over. He offered reassurances, promising that he would resolve the situation by 6 p.m. the following day. After their conversation, Michelle found herself reaching out to Will repeatedly, only to discover he had turned off his phone. Frustration seeped into her messages, each voicemail more desperate than the last. With each passing hour, her heart sank, burdened by the unsettling thought that he had chosen Anna over her. In her increasingly frantic messages, Michelle expressed hurt and confusion, yearning for answers. She resigned herself to the unsettling possibility that Will had made his choice. The following day, Easter Sunday, April 16, 2017, Michelle Chavez made her way to her mother's house. Meanwhile, Will grappled with pressing matters, contacting his car insurance company regarding a policy on the brink of expiration. He faced the grim reality of cancellation if he failed to pay. In his desperate bid to negotiate an extension, he was met with firm refusal. The representative emphasized the dire situation, explaining that once the pending cancellation began, there was no way to amend the dates. With the deadline looming, Will's predicament grew more precarious. Later that afternoon, at 4:30 p.m., he finally returned Michelle's call, weaving a tale of having been at the coast, only to encounter trouble with a flat tire. Eager to help, Michelle left her mother's house and drove to Elsie. While she waited, Will entered a nearby convenience store, casually purchasing items to conceal the anxiety that gnawed at him. An hour later, Michelle arrived at the store, her face etched with concern. She inquired about the flat tire, and Will spun a tale of a heated argument with Anna. He claimed that hurtful words had driven her away, suitcase in hand, leaving him in turmoil. In a moment of intimacy, Will and Michelle slipped into his car. Their conversation ignited a spark of passion, leading to a brief encounter in the front seat. As the tension simmered between them, they parted ways, returning to their respective lives, yet forever changed. While Michelle returned to her Easter festivities, Will made a detour before heading home. He stopped at an ATM withdrawing $200 from Anna's account. Overcome with emotion, he embraced a bank employee, claiming that his girlfriend Anna had just left him. Shortly after, Will visited a Chase Bank ATM withdrawing an additional $600 from Anna's account. At 9:30 p.m., he went to another ATM, depositing $160 into his own account. With each transaction, the web of deceit tightened around him as the night deepened. In a seemingly mundane act, Will Hargrove made the necessary payment to keep his insurance policy active. He expressed gratitude over the phone, confirming that everything was settled while the operator assured him he was covered. As night descended, Will's anxiety grew palpable. He sent a flurry of texts to Dana, overflowing with concern. He pleaded for her to return home, expressing remorse in every message. "Babe, I'm sorry. Please come home. I need you. Just let me know you are safe," he wrote. However, the following day, on April 17, 2017, the calm shattered when a local groundskeeper unearthed the lifeless body of Anna Repkina in the quiet woods of Elsie, Oregon. In the wake of Anna's tragic death, Will's demeanor shifted dramatically. He began to spend money recklessly, buying trivial items like candy and Lego. In a moment of vulnerability, he confided in his friend Kevin Thomas, admitting to spending excessively in a futile attempt to distract himself from the haunting nightmare that had unfolded. Yet, In a perplexing twist, phone records revealed a darker aspect of his behavior. Will began messaging strangers on WhatsApp and various social media platforms, seeking bizarre advice on how to time travel. In a desperate bid to rewrite his past, he even proclaimed he would sell his soul, lamenting that his best friend had made a grievous mistake he was determined to fix. Just 2 days after the discovery of Anna Repkina's lifeless body, investigators stumbled upon a crucial piece of evidence, a KFC receipt linked to Will Hargrove. Among the discarded trash, they also unearthed a McDonald's receipt dated March 25. Upon reviewing the records, they confirmed that the timing of this receipt corresponded with CCTV footage from the drive-thru, revealing Anna in her wedding dress, seated in the passenger side of Will's vehicle. As the investigation intensified, additional CCTV footage surfaced, capturing Will's truck traversing toward Elsie on April 16, the fateful day of Anna's murder. Phone records indicated that between 4:35 and 4:48 p.m. that afternoon, Will had made a significant call to Michelle Chavez, who was at her mother's house at that time. The authorities also recovered a shotgun belonging to Will's friend Kevin Thomas from the confines of Will's truck. Disturbingly, only Will's fingerprints were found on the weapon. Further searches revealed clothing stained with blood and Anna's credit cards, both hidden among Will's belongings. CCTV footage from the LC convenience store, where Will awaited Michelle's arrival from her mother's house, revealed possible blood specks on Will's head, evidence that would later vanish. Before he was summoned for questioning, Will sent a text to Michelle, instructing her to ensure their stories aligned. In his text, he wrote, "Picked you up at your mom's, drove to LC General Store, and drove back." When Michelle was brought in for interrogation, she initially recounted the narrative that Will had dictated. She claimed he had picked her up from her mother's house, and they drove to the LC General Store together. However, as the weight of the situation bore down on her, Michelle began to comprehend the gravity of her words. Fearing prosecution for perjury, she retracted her statement, confessing that Will had not picked her up as he had claimed. "That's a little bit of a lie," she admitted. "He called me. He was gonna pick me up, and then he didn't." With this pivotal confession, Will Hargrove faced serious charges: murder, identity theft, and 2 counts of theft. He was held without bail at Benton County Jail in Oregon, awaiting his hearing and trial, which was scheduled for October 2019. As the clock ticked toward his trial, Will's fate hung in the balance. The murder trial commenced in October 2019 at the Benton County Circuit Court. Over the course of a month, 70 witnesses took the stand, unraveling the complex web woven by Will's actions. During the gripping opening statement, which extended for 90 minutes, prosecutors laid bare the tangled love triangle involving Will, Anna Repkina, and Michelle Chavez. They argued that this web of deceit and betrayal ultimately led to Anna's untimely demise. The prosecution contended that on April 16, 2017, Will lured Anna for a drive to a secluded area. Once there, they alleged he led her into the forest, where the dark truth would soon unfold. With these revelations, Will Hargrove faced serious charges: the murder of Anna, identity theft, and 2 counts of theft. He remained behind bars at Benton County Jail in Oregon, awaiting his hearing and trial scheduled for October 2019. Will Hargrove's murder trial commenced in October 2019 at the Benton County Circuit Court in Oregon. The trial spanned a month, during which 70 witnesses took the stand. In a gripping opening statement that lasted 90 minutes, prosecutors painted a picture of Will entangled in a complicated love triangle with deadly consequences. Throughout the proceedings, the jury was reminded of Anna's vibrant spirit. "You have to remember Anna as the sweet, loving, caring person," the prosecutor urged, "who put herself out there to be loved. Because Anna was loved. She was loved alive, and she was loved after this case. It's such a tragic story. Anna came to the United States with a heart full of hope." The tragic narrative surrounding Anna Repkina and Michelle Chavez unveiled a complex love triangle. Prosecutors argued that this entangled relationship ultimately led to Anna's untimely death. On April 16, 2017, they alleged that Will took Anna on a drive to a remote area. There, he lured her into the depths of the forest, sealing her fate in darkness. In a shocking revelation, Will Hargrove shot Anna Repkina in the back of the head with a shotgun, callously pilfering her ATM cards afterward. His defense attorney maintained Will's innocence, proposing an alternative theory. They pointed fingers at Michelle Chavez, the jealous lover, suggesting she possessed the strongest motive to kill Anna. Allegedly, Michelle confronted Will, demanding he choose between her and Anna, threatening to ruin Anna's life. The defense painted a portrait of Will as a man deeply in love with Anna, someone who envisioned a future together. They contended that it was Michelle who seized the gun from Will and fired the fatal shot. A troubling detail emerged. Michelle was discovered with Anna's phone after the murder, a critical piece of evidence that hinted at her possible involvement. Furthermore, the defense argued that cell phone records indicated Michelle visited the logging road where Anna's body was later found, a month before the crime. However, Michelle testified that she had no knowledge of the phone's connection to Anna, insisting that Will had handed it to her on the night of his arrest. In a chilling claim, Michelle Chavez recounted a visit to a logging road with Will Hargrove a month prior to Anna Repkina's murder. Yet, she firmly denied any involvement in the crime. Michelle expressed her only wish was for Anna to leave Will, never to bring her harm. When confronted about Will's choice between them, she insisted it had merely been a joke. The prosecution countered the defense's narrative, emphasizing that no fingerprints linked Michelle to the shotgun. Her phone records placed her safely at her mother's house during the time of Anna's murder. Compelling evidence emerged, showing that Will had met with Michelle after the crime, engaging in sexual activity in his car, raising further questions about their connection. Video evidence later emerged, capturing Will withdrawing money from Anna's accounts at 2 different items. All the while, he deceitfully informed a local cashier that Anna had left him. Ultimately, the jury found Will Hargrove guilty of Anna Repkina's murder, identity theft, and 2 counts of second-degree theft for unlawfully accessing Anna's bank account. As the court proceedings unfolded, the assistant district attorney conveyed the profound loss felt by Anna's family. She had come to America filled with dreams of love and family, dreams that had now been shattered. The reality was that the defendant had nearly escaped justice. Ultimately, it was Will's own carelessness that led to his downfall. In January 2020, he received a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Will Hargrove now serves his time at the Snake River Correctional Institution in Oregon. In the aftermath of Will's sentencing, whispers began to swirl about Michelle Chavez, who had reportedly relocated to New York. Defense lawyer Mike Flynn speculated that Michelle might be the true suspect rather than Will. Reports surfaced revealing that Michelle had attempted suicide multiple times, the relentless media scrutiny and damaging rumors taking a heavy toll on her reputation and her family's well-being. Despite the ongoing speculation, Anna's family found a semblance of closure in the justice system's ruling, feeling that Will's conviction provided a necessary measure of accountability for Anna's tragic death. Yet, Will and his legal team were dissatisfied with the verdict. They lodged an appeal, challenging what they claimed were 17 errors committed during the trial. The legal battle that followed Anna Repkina's tragic death was fraught with challenges. Motions to suppress evidence were denied, questions regarding the validity of warrants surfaced, and issues with hearsay evidence arose. Despite these complications, the appeal process largely failed to overturn the convictions against Will Hargrove. In the aftermath, Anna's ashes were returned to Russia, allowing her family to finally lay her to rest. In a poignant statement, the assistant district attorney reminded those present of Anna's loving nature. She urged everyone to remember Anna as the sweet, caring person she truly was, someone who ventured into life with an open heart, seeking love. Cherished in life, Anna continues to be remembered fondly, despite the tragic circumstances surrounding her death. Anna's journey to the United States began with hope and dreams of a better future. Yet, it ended in heartbreak, underscoring the profound tragedy of a life cut tragically short. In the wake of Anna's heartbreaking demise, Will Hargrove and his legal team were resolute in their fight against the ruling. They filed an appeal, citing 17 alleged errors made during the trial, including the denial of motions to suppress evidence and questions regarding the validity of warrants, along with concerns about the admissibility of hearsay evidence. Yet, most of their appeals were rejected, and the judicial process did not lead to a reversal of the convictions. Following the conclusion of the trial, Anna's ashes were transported back to Russia, offering her family the chance to lay her to rest, a somber end to a life once filled with hope. In a dramatic moment in court, the assistant district attorney disclosed a crucial piece of evidence. A witness confessed that Will had not picked her up at the time he claimed. She admitted, "That's a little bit of a lie. Will had called her, stating he would pick her up, but then he didn't." In heartfelt reflections, those who knew Anna remembered her as a sweet, loving, and caring individual. She had opened her heart to the world, yearning for connection. Anna was not only loved during her life. her memory continued to evoke love even after her tragic fate. She arrived in the United States, filled with hope and dreams for a brighter future. Anna had always envisioned a brighter future, one imbued with love and hope. She believed she had found it in Will, a man she thought cherished her deeply. However, beneath the facade, Will was orchestrating a dangerous game, manipulating her emotions and using her as a pawn in his twisted bid to win back another woman. Will was not the man he presented himself to be. He had ensnared himself in a web of deceit, indifferent to the life Anna had envisioned. His manipulation would prove devastating, leaving a trail of heartbreak in its wake. Driven by deceit and selfishness, Will's actions were propelled by a need to control both women. Tragically, Anna became nothing more than a means to an end, a tool to provoke jealousy in Michelle. Ultimately, Will's cruelty cost Anna her life, shattering her dreams and the future she had hoped to build. The complexity of Michelle's involvement looms large. Did she realize the extent of Will's betrayal? How much did she truly know, and how complicit was she in the unfolding tragedy? These questions linger, casting a cloud of uncertainty over the circumstances of Anna's death. As I reflect on this heartbreaking case, my heart goes out to Anna's friends and family. The pain they must endure, knowing that their beloved Anna arrived in the United States with trust and hope, only to be betrayed by the very person she believed would safeguard her. In the end, we remember Anna Repkina. May she rest in peace, her story a poignant reminder of the fragility of trust and the depths of human betrayal.